Alright guys, so just doing a review for this Bluetti AC50B power station. This is Bluetti's new power station that replaces is an updated version of their E50 power station. It basically just brings it up to date with other Bluetti power stations, in terms of the whole design, the app compatibility, and the features that it has. And what's included in the box with this AC50B power station are the grounding screw right over here that goes into the grounding lug off to the side of the power station. I'm gonna be showing that in this review in just a second. It comes with a MC4 to XD60 solar charging cable, an AC charging cable, a car charging cable, the manual, and that's really about it. I will be testing out the AC recharging and the car recharging in this review, and taking a closer look at the AC50B power station. Nothing too complicated about this power station, to be honest. It's not like going to be raising any eyebrows in terms of its power that it has. It does have a 448 watt hour capacity. It does have a 700 watt max AC output, as you can see right over here, with the two 3-prong AC outlets, 700 watts. That can be boosted up to 1000 watts if you're using the powerlifting mode via the Bluetti app. I'm going to be showing that in this review. It does have a XD60 input port for solar recharging. This power station does have a max 200 watt solar recharge rate. This is the DC car socket outlet that has a 120 watt output. Surprisingly, there are two Type-C charging ports. Usually the case is that power stations usually have two Type-A ports and a single Type-C port, but in this case you get two Type-C ports and a single Type-A port. Each of the Type-C ports are able to output 65 watts, and the Type-A port is able to output 15 watts. So this is really nice to see, considering that now even the iPhone 15 is using a USB-C port for recharging. And this is the power button. You can just hold down the power button right there to turn on the power station. This screen, if you're familiar with Bluetti products or Bluetti power stations, this screen is going to be very familiar. So, off to the left, you have the input wattage. Off to the right, you have the output wattage. In the middle, you get the remaining battery capacity in percentage form. You also get the estimated runtime. Powerlifting mode is on right there, as you can see with that, I think that flexed arm. Eco mode is turned on. The AC outlets are set to 60 hertz right there. And I'm going to be connecting this power station to the Bluetti app to show you guys how it functions, what features you can use with the Bluetti app. It's basically the same thing. If you see my other reviews for Bluetti power stations, the app compatibility works the same exact way as it would with any other power stations, but I'm just going to be running through it kind of quickly, but we'll get there when we get there. And it automatically turns off if you're not using it after a while. As you can see, I'm pretty sure you can adjust that via the app, but you can just press this to turn on the DC charging ports, which include these charging ports down here and the car socket outlet. You can press the AC button right there to turn on the AC outlet. I don't know if you heard it or not, but the AC outlet inverter just turned on. It was like a small click. And over to this side, this is the AC input that you're going to be using with the included AC charging cable. This power station is able to recharge pretty quickly. It's like, I think the highest recharge rate is like 500 something watts, and you're able to get 0 to 80% within about 45 minutes. I think that's what they said on their product page. But I'm going to be showing you guys the different AC recharge speeds. And yeah, this was the grounding lug I was talking about, where you can use the grounding screw with, and you can make the AC outlets on this power station grounded, which is a pretty nice touch. Over the back, there is nothing other than some specifications. Right over here, it does have a large handle at the back that does make the power station easier to carry around. And over on this side, there is nothing, just a vent for the internal fan, and that's really about it. Over at the bottom, there's nothing either. There are just 4 rubber pads for the power station, and yeah, that's really about it. Let me go ahead and get my phone connected to the Bluetti app and just run you guys through the features that you can access via the Bluetti app, and then I'm gonna get into testing out the power station by using some appliances. All right, guys. So just back with the Bluetti AC50B power station. I do have the app set up right over here. But before I get into that, let me just mention some specifications that I did forget to mention before. So yeah, it does have a 448 watt hour capacity. This does use lithium iron phosphate batteries, of course. At this point, Bluetti, I think they've probably fully transitioned into using lithium iron phosphate batteries. So you're going to be getting about 3,000 charge cycles and still maintain 80% battery capacity efficiency. So let's see, what else did I miss? Yeah, the power station is pretty lightweight at 16.5 pounds. It does have a 11 by 7.9 by 8.7 inch form factor. And yeah, just taking a look at the entire specification sheet on the manual. In case you're curious, you can just pause the video to take a closer look at the specifications. Let's just go ahead and jump straight into seeing how the app works. So yeah, this is the main screen when you connect to the power station via the app. On this screen, it shows what's activated and what's deactivated. So because I have the DC and AC section on, they are turned on right over here. You can actually remotely turn off these sections just like that. As you can see, I just turned off the AC outlet section, and the AC outlet's turned off right there. And right over here, the battery pack. I do not have a battery pack connected to the power station, so I think it's just showing one pack, which is the internal battery. Is that correct? I suppose. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense because I don't have a battery pack connected to the unit. I think that's the solar generation, CO2 reduction conversion thing happening right there. I don't really know what that is. It also shows the input wattage that's going to be going into the power station when you're recharging it. So this right over here is the solar recharging, and this right over here is the wall outlet recharging, via the AC charging cable. Shows the remaining battery capacity right there. Right over here, it's going to be showing you the Bluetooth connection password. Oh, whoa, I don't know what that is. That's something new. Carbon emission factor, display on home page of the app if you want to. This is the recharging mode right over here. So you can choose between standard, turbo, and silent. I prefer turbo personally because I like a fast recharge speed. Each of these are able to recharge the unit at different speeds. Powerlifting mode right here takes the AC output from 700 watts to 1000 watts. I don't always recommend using powerlifting mode for everything. In my testing personally that I'm gonna show you is that I was able to power a heater that ran above 700 watts, and with powerlifting mode I was actually able to run the heater, whereas without powerlifting mode I wasn't able to run the heater. So that's a pretty good use for it, but it won't work all the time. So just know that if you're trying to use an appliance that maybe takes 1500 watts, it may not be a good idea to use powerlifting mode because that's like a wildly high wattage range for powerlifting mode to keep up with. So just a heads up on that. Eco mode right here. So I think it just automatically shuts down the power station depending on the wattage that you're using. After a certain amount of time, it just shuts off either the AC or DC section. You can decide whether you want eco mode turned on or off right there. Auto sleep, it's gonna be I think this is for the screen. So for me, it's gonna be never because I like having the screen always on. Yeah, as you can see, the screen just turned on. I don't know, I just like having the screen on all the time, but that is a personal preference because if you keep the screen on, it may use some of the power from the batteries, but not too much. At least I don't think so. And then upgrade right over here. I think this upgrades the firmware of the power station. I'm not gonna mess with this right now. But yeah, there is a upgrade option right there. At advanced settings, you can change the frequency of the AC outlets, grid self adaptation. And with that said, let me go ahead and get this power station charged up to 100% to test out the DC capacity and the AC capacity efficiency. All right, you guys. So I just finished up the DC capacity test for this Bluetti power station. I ran it through of course, the DC car socket outlet right over here. Ran it at 120 watts, well, about 120 watts continuously for about 3 hours and 16 minutes. And what I ended up with was a 393 watt hour capacity, and that gave me about a 87% DC capacity efficiency, which is really good in my opinion. And yeah, there we go. That is the DC capacity efficiency for this Bluetti. I keep forgetting the name for it. The Bluetti AC50B power station. All right, guys. So just back with the Bluetti AC50B power station, and this time around I ran the AC capacity test through the AC outlet. And in this case, I got a 350 watt hour capacity, and that gave me about a 78%. AC capacity efficiency, which is pretty good. But with that said, I do need to tell you that I used the powerlifting mode along with a large Lasco heater that was pulling about, I think, 900 watts, and I was using the powerlifting mode to power the heater with. So I think this AC capacity efficiency that I'm showing you, which is 78%, is a bit off. I think you would get a little bit more usable battery capacity if I did not use the powerlifting mode. Alright guys, so just over here testing out the charging ports on the AC50B. And so right over here I have these two power banks charging from the two Type-C ports. And yeah, I am able to use the full power of the two ports at the same time. I mean, just taking a look at the output wattage that's happening right now, it's 122 watts. With each of the ports being able to output 65 watts. This is close enough, 65 plus 65 is about, what, isn't that 130 watts, I think. And so yeah, that's basically close enough. I didn't connect the individual Type-C wattage meters that I usually use, simply because I don't know where they are at the moment. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I made a video, so that's why. But yeah, I mean, I think you are able to use the full power, or at least nearly close to the full power of the two Type-C ports at the same time. I didn't bother with the Type-A port because it's just a Type-A port. These type of ports, they're not going away. It's just that Type-A ports do feature slower charging. And I'm pretty sure you are able to pull 15 watts from that Type-A port. But you're primarily going to be using the Type-C ports on this power station anyways. Alright you guys, so just back with the Bluetti power station. And so right here I'm going to be powering this Lasco heater on its low setting to show you guys that the power station obviously can handle a wattage usage of over 700 watts. And then I'm going to turn on powerlifting mode to show you guys that you can power appliances over that go over 700 watts of power usage. And so yeah, I do have powerlifting mode off right there, and let me just go ahead and set the heater to its low setting. Yeah, it's on low right now. It's going to be pulling about 900 watts. Of course, the unit is going to automatically turn off because this is way too much for the power station to handle. Just got to give it a few seconds, I think. Yep, there we go, and it turned off just like that, which was to be expected. Just gotta turn off the AC outlet section right there and turn it back on, just like that. Gonna hear it beep on. And now this time around, I'm gonna turn on the powerlifting mode, and the heater should be able to run on its low mode. Now, is it gonna be running in an optimal manner? Probably not, but it's still gonna run. I did test this out when I was doing the AC capacity test. This was the heater that I used, and this was the whole setup that I used to do the AC capacity test, which is why I told you that the AC capacity efficiency that I got maybe wasn't exactly accurate because I was using powerlifting mode. But anyways, I would recommend, like, if you do have a overload type of action that happens just like this, just give the power station some time to cool down, and then turn on powerlifting mode and try to run an appliance, which is exactly what I'm about to do. So let me go ahead and just turn the heater back on. I'm gonna set it to low And so in this case, it should be able to run continuously. But the wattage output is going to be capped at 700 watts because that's just how powerlifting mode works. I think it lowers voltage and increases amperage in order to make the appliance that you're running think that it's receiving enough power. And in this case, it's running really well. I would set it to high, but if I set it to high, it's going to be way too much for the power station to handle, and the unit will automatically shut off. I'll show you that in just a second, actually. But yeah, just wanted to demonstrate the powerlifting mode in action, and this is how you would use it. With powerlifting mode off, I obviously couldn't run the heater on its low setting, but now that it's on, I can run the heater on its low setting, all the way until the power station is at 0%. Of course, this isn't really a scenario where you would use powerlifting mode, maybe. I think it would be more useful with like something like high-powered power tools, maybe. But you could use it in this case. Of course, the battery is going to deplete very quickly in this case. So yeah, 685 watts right there. And so let me just kick up the heater to its high setting. And yeah, this is going to be way too much for the heater to handle. I think I did test this out before, and the power station was not having it. Yeah, there we go. Well, I think the heater just shut off because it just couldn't pull enough power from the power station. So that's what happened right there. So I would recommend that if you're going to be using powerlifting mode, that you use it with an appliance that's maybe pulling about 900 watts or maybe 1,000 watts. Anything higher than that, it's going to be way too much for powerlifting mode to handle. All right, guys, so just here testing out the AC recharging speeds for this Bluetti power station. So I currently have it set to silent mode, and that's going to make the fan run a lot more slowly, which makes it more quiet. But of course, the trade-off is that you're only able to recharge it at 167 watts, or at about 170 watts. You can set it to standard mode as well. That's going to make the fans spin a bit more. You're going to be getting about 270 watts of input power right there. And then my favorite is going to be the turbo mode, which allows you to recharge the power station at about, I think it's going to be 500 something watts. About 580 watts. And yeah, that's a very fast recharge speed. Of course, this does spin the fans faster, and so they're more loud, but they're not that loud. That's just some background ambient noise, in my opinion. I would personally always use the turbo mode. That's strange. I selected turbo mode and it still says silent. That's interesting. Let me go and go back and go. There we go. Now it updated. But yeah, anyways, turbocharging is going to be able to recharge the power station within under an hour. 580 watts of recharging power with a 448 watt hour battery. You're going to be looking at about just an hour or maybe less than an hour from a 0 to 100% full recharge, which is pretty great. And let me go ahead and show you the pass-through charging, and also let me see if this power station does act as a UPS as well. And let me go ahead and just grab an appliance. I will not be able to power a heater. Trust me, I tried to use that Lasco tower heater right over there, and I also tried to use this mini 500 watt heater as well to do the pass-through charging with. But you cannot use powerlifting mode while the power station is AC recharging, because even though this is a 500 watt heater, it does jump above 500 watts when I do power it on. Let me just go ahead and show you just to confirm that what I'm talking about is true. Yeah, so as you can see, it does say grid. So technically, right now, this heater is actually being powered from that power strip right over there, not the power station. But even so, even when I try to power the heater technically from the grid, it's still not going to work. And I do have powerlifting mode on. It's going to shut off in just a second. Yep, there we go. As you can see, I am not able to use powerlifting mode and AC recharge the power station at the same time. But let me go ahead and just grab a crock pot real quick to demonstrate the pass-through charging and possibly the UPS feature. All right, so right over here, I do have this crock pot connected into one of the AC outlets on the power station. I do have the power station recharging from, this power strip right over here. And yeah, this is pass-through charging in action. And of course, the crock pot isn't being powered directly from the power station. It's actually being powered from this power strip right over here. And now what I want to test out is if it features UPS, if the power station acts as a uninterruptible power supply. So I'm going to switch off this power strip, and the crock pot should switch from being powered from this power strip to being powered from the power station. I'm just going to be taking a look at this light right over here to see if there's any momentary loss in power. And so 1, 2, 3. There we go. Looks like there was not any loss in power for the crock pot. It seemed to be like an automatic switch. All right, and so one other thing I wanted to test out was the DC car socket outlet right over here. I'm using this load tester. Just wanted to show you guys that I am able to pull 120 watts from the socket outlet, and that's exactly what's happening right over here. Well, I'm pulling about 124 watts, which is pretty cool to see. And yeah, that's really about it. That is my review for the Bluetti AC50B power station. This is going to be probably my most recommended type of mini or mid-tier power station, because it has everything that you would need with a mini power station. Anything smaller than this with lower capacity, man, I gotta turn this off. Let me see here. There we go. Any power station that has a lower capacity and a lower wattage output than this, in my opinion, isn't really worth it. This is the base, simply because, what can you power from a power station that has a smaller capacity and a wattage output than this? But yeah, in my opinion, I just can't imagine getting a power station with less power than this. This should be a good starting point for people that are looking into buying power stations. And then, if you're seeking more power, then you would spend more money on higher capacity, expandable power stations. But this is a good start. This is what people should be looking for rather than, going smaller and having a pretty useless portable power source, or going higher and realizing that they spent way too much money. If the battery capacity and the wattage output meet your needs, this is a good option. I will have a link to the product page as well as the review article link in case you want to read a review for this power station. And I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.